Morning. Are you ready to look at some of the wallets that we're gonna get ready to ship out today? Hopefully things are working here. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. I've got my secondary screen here to see if I can get it to confirm myself. Side note is I spent a little bit of extra time today again to try to make the stream a little bit higher quality, and I wasn't able to do it. It seems like there's this thing that links my iPhone to the computer so I can do a higher quality stream. And they updated their software and they dropped the audio support. So I could do it quietly and it would look nice, but we wouldn't be able to talk. All right. What's up, Dia? What's up, Berto? All right. We've got a bunch of people to thank today, people that picked up stuff. We're going to look at, if I list your name here, we're going to see your item on the table, unless it's a made to order item. So Fred, somebody named Michael just picked something up that's not on the table just yet. But Fred, Dagan, Yuichi, Ed, Anthony, Jacob, Jonathan, Jose, Tara, Jacob, Andrew, David, Anthony, Michael, Irene, David, John, Joseph, Anthony, Gage, and Aaron. Thank you guys so much. I'm excited to show you your stuff. So let's get on over to it. I'm gonna try to set this up so you can see me and the stuff in the wallets at the same time. Let's see if this works. Chad, how much is the Gus and case leather other than shell? I forget, it's like a little around 100. Hold on a sec. Or let's flip you around so I can get this better. All right. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see how that looks. My screen to update. Bunch of good stuff. How can people order custom shell cordovan wallets? You can just email us. Email my brother or me, info@ashlandleather.com. Yeah, MTO. Oh, this looks good. All right, cool. Sorry, a little delayed. So I've got a bunch of stuff. Let's start with some valet trays. This is an English tan Dublin valet tray. You can see the holes and shape have all been cut out. Still need to pop in the hardware to snap together all the edges. So this lays as a tray on the table, sort of like this tray here, which is an irregular. This is the XL valet tray, so it's a little bit larger. And this one has a little bit of like imperfections that we couldn't control on the flesh side of the leather. We filled in all that flesh with a little bit of resin coat to sort of smooth everything out. But you can see there's like a little bit of dirt and like chalk over on this side, which is what made this one an irregular. And then two Chrome XL valet trays. This is the standard squared off smaller valet tray in natural Chrome XL. You can see that incredible pull up on there, which I really like. And this is like a really nice like ivory undertone to it, which I find very beautiful. Here's the XL tray, which is much larger. It's like a huge piece of Chrome XL, which is nice for a valet tray. I actually use one of these at home in a black color, which I like very much. All right, a bunch of wallets too. And we'll do another irregular here. I think there might be one more irregular black Chrome XL one-shot card case. This one, I'm actually pretty happy with how this black Chrome XL looks, but we've changed from black Chrome XL, and now we're offering black Dublin as the black option, which I actually like more, but this piece of Chrome XL is actually pretty sweet. And it is an irregular, there's like a little dent, sort of crease mark right there, which is not necessarily the best. Another one shot, this is in cordovan, this time natural shell cordovan. It's a really nice piece of shell. The edges, you'll notice, are not completely finished on this guy. So that's our goal today. Everything on the table, we're gonna clean up the edges, polish up the surface of the leather, and ship it out to you. Here's a good one, speaking of edges. This is a Frank the Enforcer in color 8 shell cordovan. That's the classic cordovan color. And we started doing something in the last year where we're matching the edges of all the color 8 and black shell wallets to the surface of the color. So it's the same exact stain that's used by the tannery to get that color 8 on the surface of the shell. We're using that stain on the edges. So once this one gets waxed and burnished, it's like a really clean, really nice matching color. And I find it just to be better. So we upgraded all of our standard offerings, like not private stock stuff, to have those matching edges. I think it's a really good look. Here's one of the last natural Chrome Excel Capone money clips. I'm always kind of surprised at how we seem to not have Capones in stock. I think there's like one of these left in the natural Chrome Excel, which is very nice. And there's also, I believe, one left behind me in this English tan Dublin. And I don't know why I'm surprised that it's very nice, but I feel like every time I go to pull something out for these morning videos, there's like nothing left in our stock, and we're always sort of restocking them. Speaking of things to restock, I think this might be one of my favorite pieces right now that we try to keep available all the time. This is the Bugs Moran in English tan Dublin. And the Dublin leather that we've been cutting from, we ordered, like dollar-wise, it's worth like 4 of my cars worth of leather, which is not to say a lot of the old Honda Fit, but we've bought so much leather, and all of it is very, very nice. We bought it to keep our costs down, but also get like a more consistent look in terms of color and texture. So there's a lot of really, really good English tan Dublin right now, and they're turning out great in the Bugs Moran. We also do a little bit of color addition to the edges of all the English tan wallets, which I also think makes a very clean look. This is a very transparent finish. It's like a very light amount of stain, so you can still see some of the natural leather underneath. We also have another English tan Bugs going out today. And I see you guys chatting. Sorry, I can't see the chat right now, but we'll chat up after I get through these, and I'll go through all the questions. Spend a couple extra minutes. Here's another one of my favorites. Seems like one of these comes up on here every day. There's another Dublin piece, but this is the black Dublin, and maybe you'll be able to see as I rotate it, the character in the grain of the Dublin leather is remarkable. Really dramatic, intense grain character on that leather, and which is why I like it on our black offerings. So if you compare this to the black Chrome Excel we looked at a moment ago, the Chrome Excel is very nice. I find it has a different luster, which is beautiful, but it's also very flat for the grain, where if you compare it to the Dublin has much more character to it, which I like. And I feel like you can't really find interesting black leathers in the world, which is why I'm pushing us to do more of the black Dublin. And then this one has a really cool contrasting teal, sort of a two-tone wallet. We've done this one for almost a decade now, and I've always loved these two colors together, and it seems like people really enjoy it too. So we got a couple vault key holders going out, classic color HL. This one doesn't have the hardware put onto it yet. It also looks like I applied a little bit of polish to it, some of the Saphir Cordovan cream, but haven't brushed this up or polished it up yet. These get folded as such, and we put a snap over the top, and then you put little screw posts in the side to hold your keys. And this is kind of like this. This doesn't have the screw post in, but this is also a black Dublin vault key holder. And here's a fun one. I'm surprised that, maybe I should be surprised. It feels like people like the reverse color of the black a little bit more than the reverse color on the color 8. So this is a color 8 reverse Frank the Enforcer, and we did a little bit of extra finishing on the reverse side of the shell. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can't really tell by the light's bouncing off of this, but we filled in the reverse side of this leather with a little bit of extra hand work. It takes a good amount of time. We call it hand glazing. So this is a hand glazed reverse color 8 Frank the Enforcer. I'm a little surprised to see it still available because I think that the glazing looks really neat, but it might be something you have to mostly appreciate in person. It might be tough to see on photos and videos. So this is number 3 of the hand glazed reverse. I think there's 2 left that are a little bit different looking, and that's because all the die splatter on the reverse Cordovan is just a little bit different. Every piece is a little unique. Here's our most popular wallet. It's also that clean, super clean English tan Dublin. This is the Johnny the Fox. This is Johnny the Fox, English tan Dublin. Has that same really nice finish that we've done on the edge with a little bit of color to sort of clean up and make everything match. So all the edges of the card holders, all the edges of the wallet should come to a very close match to the leather on the inside. And you'll notice that the color on the exterior of this wallet is pretty similar to the interior. We're actually using thinner pieces for the interior of the foxes, which is a different batch of leather. So we try to match them as closely as possible. This one's a decent match, but it's a little bit different on the outside. It's like a little bit more yellow on the exterior here with a little bit more of those orangey tans on the inside. And then 2 more wallets to look at. Both these are great, and we have a couple belts to look at too. This is one of my favorite wallets that we've done. And another one I'm kind of surprised we still have, but they're expensive. This is a tough Johnny the Fox to make. This is the denim blue shell cordovan, and hopefully the color translates nicely to you on the camera here. But the denim blue is a really nice aqua blue shade, especially in the undertones, especially lighter and more vibrant of a color underneath, where it's a little bit darker and more navy on the surface. We also do that same hand staining of the edges for this wallet on all the edges of the wallet and all the edges of the card holders. It should match very, very nicely. This one still needs to get a little bit of wax, so it will be a little bit of a brighter luster. But the thing that's tough about these that's really difficult for us to make is the interiors have to be very, very thin, because there's so many layers of leather in here. And if we use the normal shells, this thing is just honking thick. So we have to pick and be a little bit patient to get naturally thin pieces of shell. So 100% denim blue shell fox, pretty rare. Here's another one that's a little bit less rare just because the black shell cordovan here is produced more frequently. So we have a larger batch of black shells for us to sort through and use our thickness gauge on to pick thinner pieces. There's just more of it. So we're able to make a few more. This is probably the best deal that we had on the site right now. This isn't a regular, so we discount all of our regulars. But the black shell cordovan foxes are tough for us to get. And then this one's just got like a little bit of a dent. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's like this little tiny dent there in the back with the same matching edges. Everything's really, really nice, but unfortunately for us, unfortunately for somebody else, we had to discount this one just because it's not up to our normal standards. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera around just because there's a couple belts here on the table. I think will be more easily shown this way. So this is another irregular, which is it's just an incredible thing for me to see, because this is one single piece of shell cordovan all the way through the belt. And this is what we call, or Horween has made this. This is a product by Genuine Horween Products. I don't know if you can see that there. So Genuine Horween Products makes these when they can. And it's not something they've been able to do for the last couple of years because they have not been receiving the mule hides that are required for a one-piece shell belt. So if you're not familiar with that, the shell cordovan belts, all the shell cordovan, most of it is made out of horses specifically, and horses have 2 oval shapes in their hindquarters that do not connect. They're 2 separate circles in sort of like a figure 8, like a disconnected figure 8. Now on a mule, it's more of like a trapezoid shape that continues all the way through the backside of the animal. And it's pretty rare for them to get them. This is one here. And they get, a couple dozen a year usually. Like I said, in the last couple of years, they haven't received any. Anyways, it looks like this one-piece shell belt, I know we've discounted it because it is an irregular, but there's like a little bit of cracking here that might make it look like 2 pieces of leather, but this is one continuous shell. This is something that can happen on some of those longer mule shells, sometimes towards the center, like on this one too. You see a little bit of that cracking, which is not great. So usually they'll cut around that or just not cut it at all. This one must have started cracking after it's made, which is really unfortunate. Anyway, somebody picked this one up, I believe in Japan, so that'll be coming your way. It's a pretty special belt, despite being an irregular. A couple more belts, both of them are in Chrome Excel, so it's a natural Chrome Excel here, which is also very, very beautiful. I find these to be incredibly comfortable because they're made out of one single thickness of leather, which is also tough to get. Not all hides are thick enough to make a belt of this thickness, of this weight. And they're about 9 ounces thick, which hides can get, it's pretty rare for them to get much thicker than 9 ounces. You see some stuff get, like 12. But in terms of something that's reproducible on a consistent basis, this is as thick as it gets. So we just pick a chunky, thick piece of Chrome Excel and make a single thickness belt out of it. So they're very, very comfortable. One thing I say to a lot of people about belts is they tend to stretch a tiny bit. So depending on how tight you pull it around your waist, you might get a 1 or 2 inches of stretch, but they tend to be very, very comfortable. It like really accommodates your body. All right, I'm gonna flip it back. Hello. Now it's time to read your chat. Did I say too many words? Usually my brain just turns off and I just spew whatever comes to mind at you. All right, let's see what you guys are chatting about and drink some coffee here. All right. Where's my chat? All right, Dia's here. Uncle Berto's here. Love that name. LA's here. Big Cheese, good morning. Chad Williams, the Gus card case. I think it's like 100. Right now they're made to order, so I think it's like a little bit over $100 for a made to order Gus card case. And LA asks about custom ordering wallets. We can do MTO wallets, and the best way to do it, the people that have the greatest success, people that have the best results tend to come to us sending an email either saying like, this is my dream wallet, it doesn't exist, I want this Johnny the Fox in natural shell cordovan, but I want a blue stitching and I don't want this hot stamp. Or if they have a photo example, or maybe you pull something out of one of the videos I put up and say, I really like the look of that one, but I wish we would change this. That's the best starting point for us. And the people that get the best results, I guess you have to take my word for it, but sort of trusting my brother or myself to help guide you. So there's a lot of different things like edge finishing and stitching colors that we've seen a lot of wallets, and we tend to know what looks good. So if you have a general sense of what you want, but not a specific sense, we can sort of hone in your idea and make it something great. The other thing about it is if you get a made to order wallet from us and you don't 100% love it, we will take that wallet back, but we keep there's like a 10% custom fee. So there's kind of like not much risk. And we were talking like if you buy like a really expensive Fat Herbie, you're talking like a $35 custom fee. So it's not like a huge risk, but it is something. But I think that's a fair arrangement. And if you're even like not sure about it, we can take a photo before we send it and just save you your custom fee, because a lot of the times those MTOs are things that I could just put up as a private stock. Aiden's here. LA loves the marbled shell cordovan wallet that I made for Skip. Oh, I think I have that here. Are you talking about the Capone Fox? I have it somewhere. What's funny is like I organized everything and then like now I can't find anything. So obviously that makes sense. Yeah, plus I've been out for a couple days, so I'm like a little out of sorts. But yeah, I think you're talking about the Capone Fox. It's awesome. Where did it go? We're trying to actually develop the Capone Fox as a standard item, so maybe that's why I can't find it. I might be using it as a reference. Ellie says, can you do hand stitching? I can do hand stitching. In fact, if you love hand stitching, I'm working on a private stock stuff right now, and there's a lot of hand stitch stuff in there. It's more expensive, so it's hard for me to suggest it because I don't think it's necessarily worth paying the extra money. Having said that, a lot of people really like the aesthetic of a hand stitched wallet where it has a much more chunky thread look, and you can only get that thick thread in a hand stitching method. You can't put those thick threads through a machine. So that's the story there. It takes us a half a day to hand stitch a wallet, so we have to charge a significant premium. So that being said, like I don't stock them hand stitched because I don't think it's the best option for my customers, for you. Having said that, again, people love it. So we do it on the private stock stuff, and we can do it as an MTO. Uncle Jimmy says, you match the edges on my custom component. It still looks great 2 years later. Awesome, Jimmy. Yeah, the dies that we use for the edges are all penetrating dies. So they will drill down, sort of, so to speak, into the leather a bit. So it's not just like a surface application. Like if you were to paint a wall, it actually goes, in the analogy, would like go into the wall a little bit. So if you scuff the edge of your wall, you still will see the color through. Oh, you want to send me your wallet back for a video? I could do that. Hi, Jaren. Denzel's here. I think you can request hand stitching when you make custom order. That's right. Isaiah's here. Hi, Isaiah. And it will cost a little bit more. They do offer it. PRP2 says the reverse of the Johnny is to teal Latigo exterior, black horseside interior. Yeah, we used to do the teal. It was funny because a lot of people didn't like that option as much. I loved it because the teal Latigo, which is sort of similar to this, this key fob here. This is a blue Latigo. The lighting's awful, but the blue, the Latigo ages really, really, really well. And on the teal, it gets so much darker and deeper that I actually prefer the way that aged compared to the black, which doesn't really change at all. So I like the teal exteriors with the black interiors more, but it seems like people didn't want to order them. So we kind of dropped it. Have you done any of the vault key cases with the magnetic snap instead of the spring snap? No, we haven't. We could do that though. That would be an MTO. Do the irregular items include forever guarantee? Yeah, Isaiah, that's, we won't guarantee like whatever the issue was, but we do guarantee the stitching and the leather. So if anything rips or falls apart, we still keep that guarantee on an irregular. Awesome. Oh, Caleb, I'm glad you like the live chats. It's fun for me to do. I have to sort of like keep it tighter than I want to do because I have so much other stuff to get through. I want to take some photos and video of private stock stuff and try to get that out tomorrow, but it's a lot of work to take a few hundred photos and a video and edit that and make all the product pages and, you know, promote it. So I try to hustle to get it done, which is why I won't spend too much time here doing this, sadly. Store hours, we're usually here, depends on the day. So what we do is we like to have appointments because if you see, we're set up like a workshop. It's not really like a store. So if you can email us the time you'd like to come by, usually somebody's here all day. Somebody's here from like literally all day, because we have sort of different start times for different people. But if you want to come by, just send us an email to info@ashlandleather.com and we can set you up. Uncle Jimmy, trust Phil on the customs. Can you do an MTO watch band? Says CW. We can do an MTO watch band. We've done them and they're great. I think there's several MTO watch bands in the video I put up yesterday. Notably a raw black shell cordovan Apple watch band that was 2 layers, and that's something that I think is turning out nicely. It's also more expensive because it's 2 layers of leather, but people seem to like that thicker look on the watch straps these days. Juan says, can you guys make watch straps in 21 millimeters? Yes, I can. Juan, all you have to do for that's an easy thing for us. Just email my brother again. His name is Matt, but the address is info@ashlandleather.com. And what we do is we take our 22 millimeter pattern and we like just very lightly sand down each side to get you a 0.5 millimeter off on each side, and it will fit the 21 very nicely. We've done that a lot for 19 millimeters too. Dia said, actually just answered the question I had. So it's 10% of the price custom wallet and it's non-refundable fee. More or less, yes. So like if you wanted a Johnny the Fox in English tan doubling on the outside with like a teal horsehide on the inside and like a teal stitching, and you wanted to change all the stamps around, the custom fee there is $13.50. That is more or less non-refundable. However, there are sometimes where we make arrangements where if you're like not sure about it and I'm feeling very sure about it and we're emailing back and forth and I say, I think you're gonna like this one, I will send you a photo before we ship it just to make sure you like it. And if I send that photo and you don't love it, we'll just refund the whole thing. So there are circumstances where I can waive that. Yeah, Dia, hit me up, Dia. You've been in these chats. I think you have a good sense of what we have, and then we can work together on finding you something denim blue field notes passport holder would be super sweet. And something like that, we've had good success with hand staining the edges blue, doing like a reverse blue interior with, there's something about the orange stitching with the blue, and it's even like a raw denim for blue color is really, really cool. Something like that could be interesting. We could chat out ideas and go back and forth for a bit. Yeah, we'll be doing the Capone Fox soon. I don't know. Maybe we'll call it the Jimmy, because I don't think we got to find a gangster named Jimmy. But I don't want to call it Capone Fox. It's like nonsense. I want to go back to for all the wallets I tried to do gangster names, like Chicago gangsters, and we're running out of gangsters. Random Dragon Ball Z fan says, why do your wallets smell great? Is it the Saphir Cordovan cream, or do you apply before shipping them out? It depends on what leather you have. The Fat Jim. That's a really good question from our random Dragon Ball Z fan. It's the leather. So people walk into our shop and they're like, man, it smells really nice in here. The leather smells really good. I don't know if it's it's probably a combination of a lot of stuff, but I think it has to do with the tree barks that are tanned into the leather, and then the oils that are also tanned into the leather. So it depends on what item you have. But if it's a cordovan, there's like a lot of different waxes and oils that are tanned inside of there. And then it's actually aged for several months to like mellow all those oils out. So super, super full of stuff combined with a bunch of different tree barks. It's probably the combination of all that together. If you got something in shell, if you have something in Dublin, it's the same tree barks in there, but with a different oil that's tanned in there. All right, so are we gonna create, oh, my current Ashland leather support, that must be Matt. Hi, Matt. Matt wants me to show you this. This is the new Royal Blue Cypress, which is very similar to the Dublin. It's kind of like a combination of the Latigo and the Dublin together, and it's more dense. Well, I'll do a whole video on this, but I really like this. I took this on vacation with me, and I've been wearing it for several weeks, and I've been putting it through the ringer, putting it in a bag with keys, putting it in my pocket with keys, putting it in my pocket by itself, carrying it in the front pocket. Just because I want to see how much of a beating this can take. And I mean, you could probably tell it looks amazing. It's actually looking better and better. So I'm pretty happy with this. And we should be having the Royal Blue Cypress coming out in the next, next couple of weeks. Thanks for the reminder, Matt. You're going to create the Skip wallet with the Bugs brand made in marbled. I don't know what the Skip wallet is. Maybe you're talking about Skip Stitch. When do you expect to get more Western black shell? I don't know. We might actually have some Western black, Uncle Berto. That'd be a good one to email my brother Matt, who has more of like a daily basis on looking what's in our inventory. So hit up Matt, info@ashlandleather.com. Do you see that Viberg pre-release from the other week? They're calling natural crust. I did see that. PRP2, and I saw that because the people from Stitch Down emailed me asking how that leather was made, and I think it's just like a whole horse butt. It's kind of like these. So these are the Merriam whole horse butt boots. So that means it's the piece of the backside of the animal with those two ovals, the disconnected figure eight we were talking about. They don't disconnect it. So there's a piece between the two ovals that are not shell that I believe is what Viberg is using. And then it's basically what I call the raw shell, which is something I did a bunch of years ago. They go through all the tanning steps except for finishing. And then there's a part where all the leather, all the cordovan butts have been cured and treated with different waxes and oils. And they just sit there and cure, sort of like a steak. And I did the raw thing, just taking a piece right off of that and then shaving it smooth, and that's what I call raw shell. And I think that's what they're doing also, although they might be not even shaving off down to the shell there. It's kind of like the work shoe butt. Jimmy the Gent, that's kind of a good one. Dia. Miss the patina vids. Patina vids are tough because like how do you
how do you wear enough wallets for that long to show? So maybe I come up with some sort of program where people send them in and I just feature your wallet on YouTube and send it back to you with like a little gift or something. That could be a good idea. Do some patina videos. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much being here. Everybody that I listed at the top of the video that's picked something up, I'll name a couple more off. Ed, Yuichi, Anthony, Jacob, Jonathan, Jose, Tara, another Jacob, Andrew, David, Anthony, Michael, Irene, David, John, Joseph, Anthony, Gage, and Aaron. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you saw your wallet in the video today, or belt, or one of those key holders. But these are fun to do. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Thanks for the good questions.